reckoned with. He could reign in this division for some time.
I'm telling you, I'm going to stay champion for a long time.
Know your enemy. Prepare mentally.
Oh, huge knee by Ortega.
Brian Ortega is a problem for everyone.
They lock that cage. My goal is always to finish.
Oh, that's it.
I'm going to go after the champ, bring a war.
Hell is going to break loose.
Welcome to the war.
Alexander the Great. Relentless, marauding style with legitimate knockout power. Truly, truly amazing.
Brian Ortega. This kid is a finisher.
Volkanovski, ready or not, I'm coming.
The cold-blooded assassin, Valentina Shevchenko.
She is a killer and a true champion.
Lauren Murphy, second longest active winning streak in the division.
That's a bad woman.
Nick Diaz!
This guy is as real as it gets. Some of the best boxing in MMA and world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Ruthless Robbie Lawler.
He wants to take your head off.
2 title fights. This card is amazing.
I cannot wait.
Welcome to the war.
Welcome to the UFC 266 press conference from Las Vegas, Nevada. Inside the Park Theater. This Saturday, International Fight Week culminates with a colossal pay-per-view event. First up, a rematch 17 years in the making. It's a 5-round welterweight showdown between 2 of the fight game's most iconic names. Introducing the former UFC welterweight champion, a man who's put on some of the most memorable fights in MMA history. 28 career wins with 20 by knockout. Welcome, Ruthless Robbie Lawler. Lawler faces a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, one of the most revered fighters in all of combat sports. A former WEC and Strikeforce champion, returning for the first time in over 6 years. Welcome back, the Octagon legend, Stockton's own Nick Diaz. Moving on to the co-headliner for the undisputed UFC Flyweight Championship. Here is the challenger, a former Invicta champion, looking to shake up the MMA world by beating the Bullet. Winner of 5 straight fights. This is Lucky Lauren Murphy. And her opponent, dominant at every level. She's owned the UFC flyweight division since its inception. Winner of 7 straight fights. Looking to defend her title for a record 6th straight time. One of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world today. This is Valentina Shevchenko. Moving on to the main event. It's a battle between elite featherweights. The challenge for the throne hails from California and brings with him a lethal finishing ability that has put him on the doorstep of UFC gold. Riding the momentum of his dominant victory over the Korean Zombie, introducing Brian T-City Ortega. And finally, one of the best fighters in the world today, an Australian champion who has run the featherweight division for nearly 2 years, holding wins over Chad Mendes, Jose Aldo, and Max Holloway twice. Here is the reigning, defending, 145-pound UFC champion, Alexander the Great Volkanovski.
What's up, Vegas? How are you? Thanks for coming out today. We appreciate it. John Morgan, where you at?
Over here, guys. No disrespect to the champions, but Nick, I know a lot of people are here to see you and very excited to that you're back. So I want to start with you. Look, Nick, I know you have kind of a love-hate relationship with Fight Week, but I do wonder how you feel right now, you know, with the crowd in front of you, all the support that you're getting right now. Does this feel at least a moment that you can enjoy?
No, I feel good. I feel real good.
Thanks, Nick. And, we found out earlier this week it's going to be a middleweight fight instead of a welterweight fight. So I'm just curious, tactically, strategically, does that favor one person or the other? Do you think that changes this fight at all, the change in the weight class?
No, I think it just makes it a little smoother. Smoother ride.
Yep. Fair enough. And last thing, Nick, that I wanted to ask for you. As you sit here, is this something that you see, like, I want to keep doing this? I know you probably want to see how things go on Saturday and how you feel afterwards, but is this something you say, I can't wait for this to be over and never do it again? Or are you saying, no, I'm happy I'm back and, seeing this for the crowd, I want to do this more often?
Yeah. Well, definitely want to do this more often. Especially if I get my ass whooped. If I get my ass whooped, I'm going to come back right away. If I get my ass whooped, I come right back.
Thank you, Nick. Alex, I want to ask you, we talked to Brian yesterday, and he said, listen, if you guys weren't rivals, if you weren't fighting, he thinks you could be good acquaintances. So I'm curious, after this is over, do you think you can sit down and have a pint and be a good acquaintance, or is this going to go beyond this fight?
To be honest, I would have to be pretty drunk to get along with him, I think. I'll be honest again, obviously I'm known to be respectful, but, there's just things that annoy me, and that's that. So, everything, every word that comes out of his mouth annoys me now. So, probably not.
And Alex, to follow up, I know you're kind of looking still for respect as champ, right? I think people kind of doubt you sometimes. So, do you think winning this fight by any means, whether it be 5 rounds, you'll get that? Or do you feel like you got to go out there and finish this guy to maybe earn that respect as champion that you may be lacking right now?
Mate, I want to get that finish. We say that every time, but I'm doing what I can to get that finish. You know what I mean? Right now, winning's not enough. And then obviously doing the whole Ultimate Fighter with Ortega and making it a bit more personal. Obviously going out there and getting the finish would mean so much more. So that's definitely what I'm looking for. I'm going to be pushing, put that pace, crumble him, and get the finish.
Thank you, Alex. And Brian, I did want to ask you as well. Obviously this fight was supposed to take place earlier this year. You got to spend a lot of time around him, scouting him, getting to feel him out. I'm curious, did you learn anything from that time? Any weaknesses that you might be able to exploit or anything that you changed from then until now?
No, man, nothing's changed. From the beginning camp to the second camp, nothing's changed. All I got was I got to see him a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that's about it.
Thanks, Brian. And Dana, just 2 quick ones for you, if I could, please. We know that Nasrat and Hooker are on their way here, I guess, right now. Do you have any updates on kind of their status? And also, if there'll be any kind of weight concessions or anything, there seems like it's going to be tough for them to make weight.
Yeah, making fights and getting fights to happen when they're supposed to is tough enough. And then you look at the last couple of years, we've had visas, borders closing down, COVID, and all that type of stuff to deal with. It makes it obviously tougher. But these guys are both absolute studs. If anybody knows the backstory, one of their moms just died. He flew home for the funeral, then turned around and came right back, had visa issues that we had to fix, and same thing with Hooker. These guys are going to land today. They both want to fight on Saturday, and neither has asked for a weight. They're both going to make weight according to them. So, those are the type of people that are in this sport, and it's why people love the sport so much. And incredible, unique individuals is all I can say.
That's awesome.
So. Yeah.
And Dana, just one last one. We spoke to Alex and Brian yesterday, and they both said, hey, listen, regardless of who wins, they both kind of look at Max Holloway as still being a #1 contender right now. So I'm curious if you could give us an update on Max, kind of where he's standing, and do you view him as a #1 contender for whoever comes out of this fight?
Yeah, if you look at, you got the champ, and then the top 4 guys in that division are all bad dudes. From Max, obviously, the zombie Yair Rodriguez. There's a lot of tough guys there. So timing and all the other bullshit that I just mentioned 2 minutes ago will play a factor in who fights next. So we'll see how it plays out.
Question for Robbie.
Go ahead, Shmuel.
All right, question for Nick Diaz. In the time you've been out of the octagon, your younger brother, Nate Diaz, he's turned into one of the biggest stars inside the UFC. As an older brother, how does that make you feel?
Proud. I tried to pave the way, set it up that way. I didn't expect to drag so hard. Coming back's been, it's been kind of a mission. But I've done all the work my whole life, so I've got fights left, and I'm in pretty good shape. So
You look good. Question for the champ, Volkanovski. You started the Ultimate Fighter 0-4. After that, the tides changed. What kind of behavioral changes did you notice in Ortega to give you the confidence for Saturday evening?
Mate, I've seen a lot of changes. He was, when he's with his boys, or when his confidence is up, he's up perking his chest and all that type of stuff. As soon as things went downhill for him, he was quiet. He didn't have much to say. So that's why I told him, keep that same energy. If things turn around, keep that same energy. He didn't. So that's it. But I see a lot of holes. I see, just from every time I spend time with him, I see weakness. Every time. Every time I even talk to the bloke.
Final question for Lucky Lauren Murphy. You're going up against the champion, Valentina Shevchenko. She's never lost in this weight division. You're here for a reason. You're used to the underdog role. You're plus 1,700. Why is Saturday night going to be different for you?
Different than what? I've been winning all the way up to this point. It's not going to be any different than what I've been doing to get here.
Why is it going to be different for the champ Valentina? I messed up.
She hasn't faced anybody like me. I'm tough, I'm mean as fuck, I'm not afraid of her, and I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks.
Go ahead, Kevin. Somebody else, whoever's up next, go.
Okay, my question is for Nick. Or is he going or not? Nick Diaz, my question for you. Just one question is, since you last fought, your brother has become a star in the UFC, headlined a show at Madison Square Garden, has had many memorable fights. You've always been the general of the Nick Diaz army. Do you think he's kind of taken that position over now, and he's the head of the family and kind of the head of the fighting group?
Yeah, sure he has. I'm working on leveling up with him a little bit, as far as I gotta fight, and regardless, win or lose, I gotta fight, and then I can help the kids and get everybody training, help train these guys.
Questions for Robbie back here. All the way in the back, right here. Right.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I know a lot of questions have been, will this fight happen or not, especially after yesterday. But now that you actually see Nick right there on the stage with you, has your attitude changed at all towards him and this fight, or are you just still thinking about the fight?
It's just business as usual. Just focusing on the task at hand. Nick's a hell of an opponent, so I had to make sure my training camp went really well, and that's what I focus on, what I need to do, and everything I can handle. I've done it, so I'm ready to go.
And one for Nick. You have two teammates on this card. Nick, up back here. You have two teammates on this card that a lot of fight fans might not know. So for fans who don't know anything about Martin or Maximov, what can they expect when they fight?
Yeah, I mean, Maximov, he's a strong kid. He's got a lot of potential. I see him going far in the sport. With his skill set, I don't think anybody's gonna match that. He's a strong kid.
Then one last one for Valentina back here. You've obviously faced the best of the best at flyweight. Is there one thing that Lauren Murphy does? Valentina right here. Right. You've obviously faced the best of the best at flyweight, but is there one thing that you see from Lauren's game that she does better than your previous opponents?
I always say, there is no similar fight games, there is no similar people that fight in the same style. Always unique, everyone is unique, they have all different fight style. Lauren has her fight style, but it doesn't mean I don't have approach to her style. I have approach to her, I know what I have to do, and I just will do it to take my belt home, and that's it.
Hey, Nick, right down here on your left. Over here in front. It's all good, bro. Nick, when people say this is the people's main event, Diaz versus Lawler 2, what does that mean to you?
That's great. I'm glad they feel that way.
Valentina, for you, people keep talking about what keeps her motivated, what keeps her performing at such a high level for so long. What's your answer?
I was answering is like all week long, what is my motivation? Martial arts is my motivation. Be part of UFC, it's my motivation. Compete in the high level of like, through all fighters who's like the highest level in the world. This is my motivation. What can be else?
And for Dana, you got the Hall of Fame, you've got fan signings all week. Would you say finally 100% for the UFC, it's wide back open after pushing for so long?
Yeah, I mean, we're wide open in certain states, you know. There's other countries that we still can't go to, but, you know, at least now people can move around, you know, the United States, and New York's a big one. The fact that we're getting into New York, and if we can get in there and pull this thing off without anything going wrong over there, we're on our way. I'd say we're on our way, yeah.
If you were a fan and you're one of the people like the rest of us, which fan event would you be at this week?
If I was a fan, where would I be?
Which one of the events? Yeah.
Hi, Ben Baudouin from RDS in Montreal. Quick question for Nick. Your ESPN interview yesterday was pretty interesting and worrisome in some way. Do you stand by everything you said? Are you still maybe scared to go in the octagon, not really motivated by this fight?
Oh no, I don't know if you took it I don't feel like I meant to say it like the way you said it. That was
no.
It was different.
Is your head in the right place?
I just I didn't, you know, there was a few things the way this fight got set up, you know, or lined up, and I mean, either way, it doesn't make a difference. When I get someone in front of me, I seem to be right back. You know, I've always trained with the best, and I've always held my own with the best. So it's just I didn't expect at this age to catch so much heat and so much expectation from everybody. It's kind of hard to. Before I was used to just, saying hi and being happy with everybody, and then now all of a sudden I'm going like, whoa, hey, wait, you know. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So that's all. You know, I wasn't ready for all of the extra attention or tension and attention.
At least you got a lot of support. Robbie, can you react on that? What was your reaction when you heard this interview yesterday? Did you see it?
Same reaction I always have. Like business as usual. I gotta focus on what I need to focus on, which is a fight. I can't be watching everyone else's stuff, trying to figure out what they're saying and what's going on in their head. I need to focus on what I gotta do, which is get ready for this fight, make sure I'm in tip-top shape, and that's it.
And the last one for Dana, about the Hall of Fame induction tonight. George St. Pierre is going to be inducted. What did he mean for this company and for the sport of MMA overall? Yeah,
obviously the timing was everything. We were heading into Canada and getting sanctioned in all the different provinces there, and he became a huge star for us, broke tons of records, and that whole time period of George St. Pierre and opening Canada was a very massive part of the history of the sport and a very fun time for me, my staff, and obviously the fans. So he's one of the greatest human beings on the planet. So very happy for him and proud to induct him into the Hall of Fame. Go ahead, brother.
Question for Alex. Alex, you spent the Ultimate Fighter series next to Brian. I'm curious, what is the biggest thing you learned about him during that experience?
To be honest, well, obviously I'm professional. I've said it all week. I'm professional and weakness. You know what I mean? That's what upsets me the most is I'm professional. I put the hard yards in my whole life, especially in this career. That's how I got this belt. and he half-asses it, turns up training late. You know what I mean? You name it. I just see weakness. You know what I mean? Unprofessional. Obviously, shown weakness. Obviously, a few years back, popping, producing. You know what I mean? Shit like that. That shit annoys me. It's not professional, and I ain't about that shit.
And I'm curious for you, Brian, what is the biggest thing you learned about Alex during The Ultimate Fighter?
Not much.
Do you agree that you're unprofessional, or do you think he's way off?
I don't know. I think I see life through a different lens, Some people like to be told what to do. I kind of live on my own time. As long as I get the job done, right? That's what matters to me.
Mate, ever since I got told you popped, I had no idea. Ever since I got told, that's it. I'm done. That shit doesn't stay with me. I'm over that shit.
You've been done, right? Don't do shit about it, though.
T-City over here. Does it bother you that this man feels that you shouldn't even be in the octagon with you, that he thinks that you're not on his level? How much does that fire you up to get the job done on Saturday night?
I'm already here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to share the octagon with him, whether he likes it or not, whether he likes me or not. We're going to fucking fight.
Hey, he deserves to be here. He deserves to be here. I'll give him that. But he ain't taking the belt. You don't deserve it.
We'll see about that.
Have you envisioned about getting your name called and hearing and new and being that guy from the hood to represent on this big level? How much of a dream with the reality would that become?
I envision it all the time, man. I envision it all the time. Someone that came up like I did and had to go through the shit that I had to go through to get here and to keep working. I got my unprofessional ass over here,
Next question for Valentina. If you get another dominant win on Saturday night, are you the most dominant champion in UFC across the board, in your opinion?
In my opinion. It's not depend on Saturday only, in my opinion, right? But I tell you that all my fights, I'm getting ready very strong for this fight. And I know it's going to be a very good fight. I hope Lauren gonna bring everything that she has, because I don't want anything like more, nothing more. I gonna do for my job. I gonna go in there, like put best performance what I can do, try to find my finish as sooner as I can, and take my belt back. That's it.
Final questions for Nick. Since we hadn't seen you in the octagon or have nothing to go about, what do you have to go on that you can beat Kamaru and get the belt at 170?
I think I'm a better fighter all around. If I can survive this fight, I got a hard fight, with this guy. So if I can survive this fight, I don't see any reason why,
So you gonna call him out if you win? You gonna call out Kamaru Usman on Saturday night?
I think that fight's already, And if I don't win, I'd like to see Robbie get the fight,
And final question is for Lauren. How does it feel to be in this position with being such an underdog, and you're fighting somebody where you need your personal best just to compete with them because they're at such a high level?
I believe my best is good enough to beat anybody in the world. And I love the position that I'm in. I get to climb the mountain. I'm going to walk through the fire. I get to shock the world. I have everything to gain in this fight. And I kind of feel bad for Valentina, because it's like, if she looks even like less than superhuman for even a second in the fight, people are going to say, oh my God, Lauren Murphy of all people made you look human. That's a lot of pressure on the champ, So I'm happy to be where I'm at.
Question for Nick Diaz. Nick, over here. This way. Nick, these people love you. Nick, the world loves you. You're an absolute legend. But earlier this week, you told ESPN, quote, I have a lot of resentment toward the sport for taking so much from me and not giving anything back. It's a fair question. What did the sport rob you of, and what does it still owe you?
You know what? I'm not knocking like the UFC, just maybe like the whole sport in general. Like, Yeah, it's just, I always fought like, you know, I had 3 to 5 fights a year for like 17 years or so. All I ever thought about was weight, you know, what am I gonna eat? After a while, you realize there's more to life, and then, yeah, and then everybody, yeah, okay, buddy. And, yeah, you know, after a while you realize there's more to life, and then everybody kind of like, you know, digs their heels into you when you're down. It's kind of rough, you know. Like, you know, it's nice to see a lot of support, like 2 weeks leading up to a fight. You know, but what about the last 5 years? You know, is kind of how I feel. Of course, I get a lot of highs and buys, and you know, I've done plenty of handshakes. I don't, you know, I'd like to take some of those back, but.
All right. Thank you, sir. Question for Valentina. Valentina, how long would it take for you and your sister to send Jake and Logan Paul to that place where time does not exist? How long would it take you guys to finish them?
0 seconds. It's not a question.
0 seconds?
Yeah, not even 1 second.
Спасибо. Очень хорошо.
Пожалуйста.
All right, I'm gonna get this stuff out of here, square these guys off. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. See you Saturday night. Thank you, ladies. Face forward. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
see it, yeah. Let's see it. Let's see you swing. Give me that belt. Let's see. We step in the octagon. Hey? Hey, mate, hey, I ain't scared of you. Okay, mate, we're going in the cage. Don't worry about it. Hey? This whole in the elevator, the fight in the elevator, all that bullshit. I'll fight anywhere too. But the beauty of it, we get to fight Sunday. Hey? Nah, I saw it. I'll fight. I will, yeah. Hey, like I said, hey, mate, I didn't know about you popping. That shit don't sit well with me. You don't deserve to be here. Mate, you're a fucking drug cheat. That's it. Done.
When you talk about the greatest featherweights of all time, the two names that are brought up are Jose Aldo and Max Holloway, and Volkanovski has left both of them in his wake.
I am just a regular bloke from a small town who happens to be the best featherweight in the world, you know what I mean? I'm a world champ, whether you like it or not.
I mean, Volkanovski is the real deal, right? A